Hey guys, Pretzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to be making the first of a video that I'm going to be doing a lot more. So this season of anime, fall 2024, it's the first time I am actually like actively keeping up with several different shows this season, and I'm sure very common type of anime content, like people going through seasons like that's what I'm gonna do. Except it for me, it's not gonna be like I watched every show in blank season blank year. I'm not gonna do that because um uh it isn't like my career in any way, so I have absolutely no reason to do that. Um, Instead, what I'm going to do, and I talked about this when I made the anime tier list second part. If you have not seen that, go watch that video. Um, where I'm going to be talking about the shows that I watched in this season. Um, Even though these still have like 2 weeks for the ones with 12 episodes for most of those to finish. I started seeing, like at a certain point, you start seeing some things around there, and it's like, um, I saw one, I was like, okay, I'm not exactly sure on like when if there's gonna be a consistent timing on this, but um around the time I start seeing those kinds of videos on YouTube is probably when I'll make my own. But anyway, enough stalling. Let's get into it. So, I actively kept up this season with uh one, two, three, four, five, six, seven shows? No. 9. Uh, there were there were some very obvious ones that I forgot about. Let me start out with what has been quite possibly the biggest, well, one of the biggest shows this season. I don't know if like between this and not between like two shows is which is bigger, but I'm gonna start with Bleach. So in general, I did mention it a little bit during the tier list, but because Bleach moved up a lot of spots, and that is because of this new core of Thousand Year Blood War. Um, Now I really fucking enjoyed the previous two cores of Thousand Year Blood War, but this one like kind of blows the other two out of the water. Um, it's insanely high level of quality. Like the the whole like revelations about like your walk abilities is just insane. Um, the fights were so good. Everything with Uryu was really good. Um, Uh, Being able to see Shinsui's Bankai was fucking awesome, and that's probably like a top three Bankai of all time for me. Um, I like especially like the more recent episodes, the Mayuri character stuff. He great, very entertaining, consistently. Uh, and, seeing their fights against like the upper class of the server was quite entertaining. I remember it happened. Grimjo came back. That was fucking awesome. Also very crazy. Did not expect that to happen at all. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, there's certain things that like I can't quite remember my thoughts on exactly. Um, what happened in the episode, but it was very, very good. I gotta say that much. I think next. Well, might as well get the big ones out of the way. I'll talk about Don Don next. Don Don has been fucking great. Um, I was immediately interested in Donadon when I found out that Science Saru would be animating it because I watched Devilman Crybaby earlier this year, and that had some of the most impressive and graphic and crazy animation I've ever seen. And Dandadan certainly delivers on that. The whole premise is incredibly wacky, but the animation and the action are fucking insane, and I just love it. The characters are all really good. I think each I think there's been a very, very nice mix of action and also like character connection, more slice of lifey esque episodes. So I think there's been a very nice like golden balance reached there, which I very much like. I really like all the characters. I kind of wish it was more than 12 episodes. But it's what we can get, honestly. Because I am gonna read the manga at some point. I don't know when though. But yeah, Don is very it's very, very good. Episode 7, I don't think I need to say this, but it was absolutely incredible. Um, Honestly, might be like episode of the year for me. It was a really, really goddamn good episode, and I think it's a perfect example of like Danan being one of those new shows that um kind of like Soul Leveling in my opinion, but done better. It's like where it's it's revealed a lot of really good like things that I would expect to see early on, but it's very clear it hasn't even gotten close to really getting into its tool bag yet, which makes me very, very excited for future seasons of Dyna because it's gonna be peak. Um so I very much enjoyed Dyna. I very much enjoyed it. Next ReZero season 3. Obviously this is I didn't know it was being split into separate cores, but we got 8 episodes now, and then the next 8 starts airing in February. So I'm also gonna be talking about that for the winter stuff. But ReZero was my most anticipated show of the season, and while it wasn't my number one favorite, it in no way disappointed at all. It absolutely lived up to every single expectation and anticipation I had for it. The new world building about like it's like it's going back to that like classic ReZero formula that made the first season so captivating. And while it is not nearly as character heavy um as the second season, it definitely makes up for that in terms of like more and more interesting world building bits. We learned a lot more about several different um sin archbishops, which is very cool. Um and by comparison, the general like action and the pace of the plot is much higher paced, which is like perfect for just like really getting into it. Also it's very, very nice to see like all the characters from season one come back combined with the new ones from the Sanctuary. It's like an amazing like combination of all the characters, and I think it's all like balanced very, very well. Um and it's just nice to see all the characters again. Emilia obviously doing amazing things and proving she's my favorite waifu. Um, uh, yeah. Not a whole ton to say. ReZero absolutely fucking delivered. Uh, Banger season. Lived up to every expectation I had. Next, Dragon Ball Daima. So, me personally, I know a lot of people had, like some people were disappointed, some people were surprised by the show. Personally, I did not give a fuck like what the plot was or the direction that they went in. Um, I am just really happy to get new Dragon Ball content of any kind, and it's just a bonus that the stuff that we got was fucking great. The animation, dude, the animation and the fights are just amazing in Diamond. Toei cooked so hard, like it is such a beautiful love letter for the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Um, I loved it. I've been loving it every episode. The opening goes so fucking hard, and in general, the music is great. Um, I really like the new characters, and I thought the idea of like exploring the Majin world was a really interesting direction to take it, and I'm really liking, the creativity of the designs and whatnot, and seeing like the direct explanation they give for that. Um and yeah, I'm really liking Dyna. And like I said again, I'm just enjoying it because like I'm just having more Dragon Ball content. I think the plot has been good, but I also, like I said, haven't really been giving a fuck where it goes necessarily. So um, yeah, that's it for Daima. Really been enjoying that. Speaking of other shows that I've just been really enjoying in general, not really based on a plot thing, um, Ranma Half. So I've not seen the original '80s anime. Uh, to be honest, this was like I've heard about Ranma Half. I didn't really know the premise very well, but I'd heard its name and it sounded kind of interesting. And this is a remake, so I decided to watch it, and it is fucking great. Um, I love the premise of it. I think the whole idea is really, really funny. Um, it is definitely the last fucking thing I would expect to see Mappa animating, especially considering just last year they did JJK season two, which could not be more different on every level. Um, Especially like animation and style wise, but the animation has been looking fantastic. Of course, Mappa delivering to their standards. The fights are great. I'm just surprised it's even a Mappa show because it's like such a different style to like anything I've seen from Mappa before. I mean, like they did JJK, Attack on Titan, and Vinland Saga, and now they're doing Ranma Half. It's just like it's a very, very different. Um, I don't. It's such a different like. thing for them to do, but it's they're just nailing it in my opinion. So, I've been very much enjoying it. Now with this in Dyna, I haven't really been able to get like clear information, but it seems like they're like intended to be long running things that are going to continue airing because from what limited thing I've been able to find, which again is not much, it doesn't like seem like it's gonna be like a um but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be like a like they make like 12 episodes of this and then like some point later they do another season. Like it seems like it's gonna be like an ongoing thing. Um so I don't know how long it's gonna go on for, but I'm gonna keep enjoying it every Saturday it comes out and Diamond on Fridays. But um I love the characters. I think the premise is really funny. I think the martial arts is great. The action is great. The fights are really fun and creative. And obviously, there's a rom com. The like romantic ideas in there are really good. Um, and it like really ups the charm of the characters overall, in my opinion. And the comedy is just great. It's a very very funny show. I really recommend Raw and a Half. I recommend all the shows in this video, but Raw and a Half has been really good. Now definitely the biggest surprise for me was Nina and the Starry Bride. I just watched the most recent episode of that, and that has been a really, really good show. I've heard like literally no one talk about. I think that Nina herself is a really interesting main character, and I think that considering it's literally only been 10 episodes, it's amazing like they've gone in a lot of like different directions. Like it feels like a lot of progress has been made. I think the whole the whole like world building aspect of like exploring the kingdoms of Goblin and Fortnite has been very interesting. I think all the characters are also like really interesting, and I'm just constantly like invested like where the plot goes. I know it's only 12 episodes, but like whenever that finishes, I'm very much like looking forward to uh I hope that there's gonna be a season two because um it's not obviously finished yet, but like I've been like every week I was very, very interested in the direction in which it would go. So um definitely like the most like underrated gem, I would say. Um uh Now not really just underrated gems, but not really a gem shape, but an orb. Okay, that was a terrible transition. Um Orb on the Movements of the Earth is the best show that's airing this season. Um and for a while it was in contention with Bleach, but like some of the recent episodes, the character stuff has been so good. So the entire premise is it's about a young boy named Fall in 15th century Poland, which is already a really fucking interesting setting, mind you. And it's like about the geocentrism versus heliocentrism, which is one of my favorite topics in science in general. So I was immediately hooked in that aspect. Um, and that is a really really great thing that really hooks you in very well. But the best thing about this show by far is the character writing. Um, and there is a crazy twist in episode three. I'm not saying any more than that because the news would be a huge spoiler. But there's a crazy crazy twist in episode three, and Uh, and it really made me wonder, like, how it would go on from there. And then in episodes four and five, there's just some fantastic character moments, and that really showed me that this show can really stand on the strength of its character writing, because it completely switched focus to completely new characters, and I was like just as invested as the first three episodes. Um and every single episode has honestly just been getting better and better and better. Each time it focuses on a new character, it just is like brings that same level of captivating character writing, and then it becomes like even more interesting, like when those characters end up interacting with each other. Um, and then I feel like there is also like just enough like little bits of plot progression with how the whole like them developing the heliocentrism theory is coming along to like still keep you interested in that aspect of the show. So I think it also manages to strike a very perfect balance there, and it's a fantastic Madhouse work. Which not that I needed more evidence, but it's only like further cementing like just the fact that Madhouse is the fucking goat of anime studios, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for Orb. Best show this season. If you have not been watching Orb, you gotta watch Orb. Um, it is a fantastic show. Um, uh, After that, speaking of Madhouse shows, this is a good transition. The other Madhouse show that was airing this season, it isn't nearly as good as Orb, but it's still quite a good show in my opinion. I've been really enjoying my time with it. It's Trillion Game. Now, if you're at all interested in business or entrepreneurship of any kind, Trillion Game is absolutely the show for you. Um, it is a very fun show about these two like kids, not kids, well, young adults who just like graduated college and whatnot, and their goal is to start a business and make $1 trillion. And one of them, Haru, is like a very talkative, charismatic type who could like lie his way out of anything. The other one, Gaku, is like the nerd, computer genius type. Um, and it's been really fun so far. I'm very glad that like Orb has 25, Trillium Game has 26 episodes, so it's like continuing over to next season. Um I've been very excited to see every new episode, because it's been like probably the most unpredictable in terms of the direction it's gonna go, because every single new episode they're doing something completely new related to business, or they're doing something else that relates to them growing a previous business thing. um and it's just been so like interesting to see the directions that it goes, and it's just been extremely entertaining. um and then assuming that I haven't, no, I haven't forgotten anybody. Okay. The last one that I watched this season was a romance called 365 Days to the Wedding, which is a quaint, cute, like adult romance, which is kind of unique. It's about like these two. It's a very funny premise. It's about like these two loners that like fake being engaged to avoid being picked out to be the head of a like new branch, not in Japan, by themselves. Um, and it's made a lot more progress than I would have expected. I'm very happy to see that. Especially with the episode that happened last week. Um, And yeah, it's been a cute romance. I've been enjoying it. Uh, it's said nothing crazy, but it's been a good show. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. That's kind of what these videos are essentially gonna is just like what I just did. It's just like me going through my thoughts on every show I watched in this season. And I'm gonna do this like once every season. Still not exactly sure how that's gonna line up with like when I do the tier list and whatnot, but that's gonna work out at some point. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, then look forward to more like it that come with each new anime season. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.